Hey guys, it's Margarita, and today I'm here to bring you my most intimidating books on my TBR pile. The original tag was done by Lindsay Ray. I wasn't tagged by anybody, but I thought it would be fun to do anyway, and I have so many books that I think I have enough. So, the first question is, what book have you been unable to finish? This is going to come as no surprise to anybody because I say it every time I have a video. That's going to be American Gods by Neil Gaiman. For some reason, I can't finish this book. I haven't picked this book up in a couple months. Not gonna lie. I'm still stuck at the same place I was stuck before. For some reason, there's just something about this book that will not let me read more than a couple pages at a time, and then I have to put it down. So, that's number one. Number two, what book haven't you read because you haven't had the time? That is going to be Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I'm super excited to be reading this book. I just haven't had the time to pick it up. I just finished another book about assassins, so I'm kind of all assassined out at the moment. But I am looking forward to picking this book up and reading it and figuring out where I fall on the spectrum of readers, whether I love it or whether it's just not my thing. So yeah, this is number two. Number three, what is a book you haven't read because it's a sequel? And that is going to be Fever by Lauren DeStefano. It's part of the Chemical Garden trilogy. I read the first book with her years ago, and then I saw this, I picked it up, haven't read it. I need to reread Wither before I can read this, and I have heard some iffy things about it, so yeah, I just haven't picked it up. Next, what is a book you haven't read because it's new? And I'm going to go with a book that's new to me. It is the most recent book that I have acquired, and that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I got this for Easter, so I haven't gotten around to picking it up, but I'm super excited. This is going to be my first V.E. Schwab book, and I can't wait to read it. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. Next is number five is, what is a book that you haven't picked up because you read a book by the same author that you just didn't enjoy? And that is going to be The Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. Like I said in my last video, Insomnia was my first Stephen King novel that I ever read, and it just didn't do anything for me. I did not enjoy it. I did not like it. I found it really boring. So this has been on my shelf for a really long time, and I'm not sure if this is a good Stephen King novel to pick up and read, especially after the one that I just read. So let me guys know what you think of this book, or if I should pick up another Stephen King novel. But that's this. Number six, a book you haven't read because you're just not in the mood for it. And for that, I'm going to go with The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simmons. I'm excited to read this book. I want to read this book, but at the moment, I'm just really not in the mood for really deep Russian inspired romance. I know it's going to be heavy. I know it's going to be deep, and I'm not in the mood for that at the moment. So that's why this goes to that. So number seven, a book you haven't read because it's humongous. And for that, I'm going to go with In the Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I really have no problem with humongous books. I actually prefer books to be long because I love reading. So I always get sad when a book ends. So I have no problem with the fact that it's huge. I just haven't gotten around to reading it. So that's that. Next, number eight, what is a book you haven't read because it was a cover by and then it turned out to have poor reviews? And for that, I'm going to go by Bellman and Black by Diane Setterfield. I looked on Goodreads, and this book has a really, really, really low 3-star rating. And when I clicked on it and I started reading the reviews, a lot of them are like 1 star. So I haven't picked this one up yet because of that. And last but not least, what is the most intimidating book on your TBR pile? And for that, I'm going to go with Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. As you can see, I started reading this book. I got about 280 pages in, and it's a lot. It's a lot to read. It's a lot to take in. The names, I'm not going to lie, are super confusing. They call the same person 10 different names, and I have a hard time like is distinguishing who we're talking about, and it takes me a while, and by the time I figured out who we're talking about, I have to go back and reread. So I haven't picked this book up in probably a solid year, and it's mostly the name thing, and it's so heavy. It's Russian. I mean, Russian history is just really heavy. They dealt with a lot of crap. So this is a really heavy book. And for that reason, I'm definitely going to put this is the most intimidating book on my TBR. And especially now that I know I haven't picked it up in so long, I am going to have to start from the beginning. And that slightly terrifies me. So that's it. Those are the most intimidating books on my TBR. So yeah, till next time. Bye.